Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about 3 SAT math traps that you need to avoid, 3 mistakes that you need to stop making. I see test takers take these mistakes over and over again. I in fact fell into these traps a lot myself as I was preparing to take the SAT and improving my SAT math score, and I want to give you a heads up on them so you can stop making them too and drastically improve your SAT score. The first mistake or trap that I often see people falling into is simply failing to read the passage properly. Instead of feeling the pressure as the time and the clock is running down, make sure you slow down and read the passage like you should. Make sure you understand what they're talking about. Maybe you don't necessarily understand exactly what they're asking you for originally, because that comes with reading the question, but make sure you understand the concepts that they're covering, what the relationships between all the numbers are, because you are not going to be able to solve the problem if you don't understand the original passage. As you're doing this, if there are numbers, if this is a word problem, create relationships between one number and another. Maybe this means writing down an equation so that you understand what each number means in the passage. Certainly, if the answers involve equations, write down your own equation first instead of taking a look at the answers and then trying to compare it to the passage. It's always going to be more accurate if you create your own equation and then compare the answer choices instead of vice versa. So yeah, again, trap number 1, make sure you just thoroughly read that passage, you understand it. Don't move on until you have a good grasp of the text. Trap 2, or mistake number 2, is just failing to read the question properly and understand what the question is asking for. I know too often, just like how I would scan the text too quickly, I would just scan and breeze over the question, especially if you've been studying SAT math for a long time. It may just seem like you're seeing the same problem types over and over again, which you are. But remember, College Board isn't strictly forced to adhere to any one type of problem. They can mix things up, and it's important for you to thoroughly read every single word of that question. This was probably the most common mistake that I fell into while I was still scoring in the mid 600s, low 600s on the math SAT, and when I stopped making it, my score probably improved by about 50 points. I remember one particular problem, they were asking for probability, and I started to read the question. I saw them asking for the probability of one thing, and I immediately just skipped the rest of the question and moved on to solving. But they were actually asking you to find the difference between 2 different probabilities. So I got that wrong. That type of little switch up will get many test takers, so make sure you take those extra 2 seconds and just finish reading the question. It'll save you a lot of mistakes and it'll help your score to shoot through the roof. Mistake number 3 that I see test takers often make is just sticking with the first number that they get when they're calculating their SAT math answer. They start adding, they start subtracting, they take that first number that they get and they decide that that's the answer. They see that that answer matches one of the multiple choice answers, so that has to be it, right? That's where you need to stop. Make sure before you begin solving, you know exactly what you need to do and you follow through with all of those steps. Don't stop just because you see one of the numbers you're working with matches one of the answer choices, because that's one of the College Board games that the test makers play. Most of the numbers that you'll see in the answer choices are fairly reasonable. They're not just putting random numbers there. They're putting numbers that you'll see in the process of trying to solve for that problem. So because you see those numbers, it probably means you're on the right track. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean you're not, but if you do see them, it's a good sign. But doesn't mean that you're ready to stop. in summary, make sure that you don't just plug in the original number that you see, but you make sure you follow through with all of your work before checking to see if your answer is one of the multiple choice answers. And then follow back up and make sure that your answer answers what the original prompt question was asking you to provide, because oftentimes, again, you would answer one thing, but the question would be asking you for another, and in the confusion of trying to quickly solve the problem, you will have forgotten what the original question was actually asking for. So yeah, make sure you follow through with your work and you answer the question the way it's supposed to be, and don't just quickly answer with the first number in your calculations. Those were 3 quick traps that I saw students falling into over and over again. Just as a recap, make sure you fully read that entire passage thoroughly, you understand it, and the same thing for the question. Make sure you understand what they're asking for and that you read the entire passage. And for the third, make sure that your original answer answers that question and you don't just plug in the first number that you get when you're trying to solve for the problem. If you found this video helpful, then make sure you go check out my reading and writing traps video. I have another one just like this for reading and writing, and the whole rest of my channel, which has a bunch of content just for people who, like you, who are studying for the PSAT or for the SAT, trying to improve your math and your reading and writing score. I was able to get 790 on the English section and 780 on the math, so I'd love to be able to help you. This is a channel that'll be going into my college applications this fall, so I'd appreciate it if you'd engage by liking and subscribing. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the comments below, because that's most of the videos that I make, is just requests from viewers like you. And I'm looking to fill gaps that you see and answer your questions. So anyway, yeah, I'll hopefully see you again soon, maybe in one of the videos that you request. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope it helps you to boost your SAT math score. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.